Two figures from Florida's legal landscape now hold significant power in the nation's capital. Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida, is now the U.S. Attorney General. Ashley Moody, Bondi's successor as Florida's top legal officer, has ascended to the U.S. Senate. Their rise to national prominence is not a cause for celebration, it is a cause for deep concern. Both Bondi and Moody established a clear pattern of weaponizing the justice system for unconstitutional causes during their tenures in Florida. This dangerous legacy now threatens to undermine civil rights and the very heart of American justice. Pam Bondi's tenure as Florida's Attorney General from 2011 to 2018 was marked by a series of controversial decisions and actions. While some of her efforts yielded positive results, other aspects of Bondi's record raised serious red flags. She aligned herself closely with unconstitutional causes, using her office to attack political opponents and the First Amendment. These actions, while popular with her base, revealed a willingness to weaponize justice, prioritizing ideology over legal principles. Ashley Moody, Bondi's successor as Florida Attorney General, continued many of her predecessor's policies. Moody's tenure from 2019 to her appointment by Governor DeSantis to the U.S. Senate in early 2025 was marked by a similar approach to law enforcement. She exhibited a penchant for aggressive tactics, often resulting in civil rights violations. This approach, often labeled lawfare, used legal processes and maneuvers as weapons to silence dissent and punish critics. Moody's unwavering support for then-Governor Ron DeSantis, who appointed her to the Senate, further solidified her image as a partisan operator more concerned with unconstitutional causes than impartial justice. The case of Scott Huminski, a Florida resident ensnared in the state's legal system, exemplifies the perils of weaponized justice and lawfare under Bondi and Moody. Huminski's ordeal began in 2017 under Bondi's watch and continued into Moody's tenure. What makes Huminski's case particularly alarming is the complete absence of a formal charge against him. Despite court orders repeatedly stating no charge, Huminski was subjected to criminal pretrial release conditions and placed under the supervision of the Department of Corrections without the existence of a criminal statute allegedly violated by Huminski. This Kafkaesque scenario, where an individual is punished without being accused of a crime, lays bare the deeply troubling tactics of weaponized justice and lawfare employed under the guise of law enforcement. In 2019, Ashley Moody, as Florida Attorney General, filed 2 appellate briefs supportive of the Huminski prosecution. Section 5. No crime, no charges, no due process. A travesty of justice unfolds. Huminski's case is not merely an anomaly, it represents a pattern of disregard for fundamental legal principles. Despite the lack of any charging document or criminal statute, Huminski faced restrictions typically imposed on those awaiting trial for actual crimes. His movements were restricted, and he was subjected to the authority of the Department of Corrections, all without the state filing a shred of paper in the case detailing the criminal statute allegedly violated. This blatant violation of due process, a cornerstone of the American justice system, is deeply troubling. The lack of transparency surrounding Huminski's case, coupled with the state's refusal to provide even the most basic information about the allegations against him, raises profound concerns about the weaponization of the legal system for unconstitutional causes. Section 6. Weaponized justice, the assault on jurisdictional precedents. Huminski's case is not just a story of individual injustice, it represents a broader attack on the very foundations of the American legal system through weaponized justice. The Florida Supreme Court, in cases like State v. Anderson in 1989, has clearly established the requirement of a formal charge for a court to exercise jurisdiction over an individual. By ignoring this fundamental principle, Bondi and Moody, during their respective tenures, demonstrated a willingness to weaponize the legal system, disregarding established legal precedent in pursuit of their desired outcomes. The criminal prosecution of Huminski was without the existence of a criminal statute supporting Bondi's and Moody's criminal case. This weaponization of justice, if allowed to stand, sets a dangerous precedent that undermines the integrity of the entire judicial system. Section 7. A chilling effect. The broader implications of lawfare in America. The tactics employed in Florida under Bondi and Moody's leadership have chilling implications for the justice system and civil rights. Lawfare, the use of legal processes as a political weapon, poses a direct threat to civil liberties and the integrity of the justice system. By ignoring the complexities of the legal system, those in power can silence dissent, punish critics, and deter others from exercising their rights. This chilling effect on civil rights and the justice system strikes at the heart of American democracy. If left unchecked, it could erode the very foundations of an open and just society. Section 8. A call for accountability, scrutiny, transparency, and the pursuit of justice. The elevation of Bondi and Moody to positions of national power necessitates a renewed focus on the weaponization of justice. Their records in Florida, particularly their handling of cases like Huminski's, demand thorough scrutiny from Congress, the press, and the American public. Transparency is paramount. The details of Huminski's case, including any justification for the state's actions, must be brought to light. Accountability for any misuse of legal power is essential to restoring faith in the justice system and ensuring that such abuses of power are never repeated. Section 9. Safeguarding our rights. The imperative of vigilance in the face of power. The stories of Scott Huminski and countless others caught in the crosshairs of weaponized justice systems serve as a stark reminder. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. As Bondi and Moody wield their newfound influence on the national stage, it is imperative that we, the citizens, remain vigilant in the face of power. The defense of civil liberties, due process, and the rule of law is not a partisan issue. It is the bedrock of a just and equitable society. We must hold our leaders accountable, demand transparency, and challenge any attempts to erode the fundamental rights that define us as Americans. Our freedoms, once lost, are not easily regained. The motive of Bondi and Moody was to silence the speech of Huminski, who was the founder and leader of Scott X and the Constitution Commandos, an anti-police state rock band with over 500,000 views on YouTube. Their music and message resonated with a vast audience, challenging the status quo and advocating for civil liberties. This act of suppression is not just an isolated incident, it is a chilling reminder of how power can be wielded to stifle dissent and control narratives. We must remember that the fight for free speech is ongoing. It is a battle that requires our constant attention and unwavering commitment. The voices of those who dare to speak out against injustice must be protected, for they are the torchbearers of our democratic ideals. As citizens, it is our duty to defend these voices, to stand against any form of censorship, and to ensure that the principles of free expression remain unassailable. In the end, the legacy of individuals like Scott Huminski and the Constitution Commandos will not be defined by the attempts to silence them, but by their relentless pursuit of truth and justice. Their story is a testament to the power of free speech and the enduring spirit of resistance against oppression. Let us honor their courage by continuing the fight for our fundamental rights and freedoms.